Welcome and thank you for your interest in Mendomi Park in Plano. Your feedback will help shape the park. After this short presentation, please share your thoughts in our online survey. I'm Sahana Ashwatanarayana, a landscape architect with Studio Outside. We're leading the park design with Munn Harris Architects in partnership with the City of Plano. Building on community feedback from earlier this summer, we've prepared two design options for Mendomi Park. We'll be taking feedback until 17th October 2025. A final master plan is expected by the end of the year. Before we dive into designs, let's recap what we've heard from you in our survey in May. We received input from 110 participants, including nearby residents and employees working in the area. Among park features, trails stood out as the most desired element for Mendomi Park. We also heard concerns, especially about the loss of green space to large paved areas, and we received suggestions such as prioritizing shade and tree canopy. These comments shaped the key design priorities that guided the park's next steps. To organize the program elements, we established design principles that guide the master plan. At the heart of these principles is the spirit of Mendomi, caring for others like family. The first principle is to employ organic forms, soft, flowing curves inspired by nature. Another long-standing design principle is the use of framed thresholds. These create moments of transition, marking the experience of leaving one space and entering another. We look to the seasonal expression of plants. In this ecoregion, we celebrate bluebonnets as the harbingers of spring, innumerable summer blooms, the hues of red, orange, and yellow in the fall, and persistent berries of winter. Mendomi Park's terrain and lake views adds to its tranquil character. Our designs borrowed this scenery to extend and enhance the park's natural backdrop. Finally, we're working with materials that feel honest to themselves. Wood, stone, steel, and concrete expressed as they are that age naturally adds authenticity to the park experience. With these design principles and community programs in mind, we're excited to share two concepts for Mendomi Park. The first design scheme is called the crest. A winding S-shaped path bisects the slope, with land rising as a berm on one side and dropping away at the other, creating a dynamic sense of movement. Visitors experience shift in enclosure and openness as they walk, with the trail widening at the center, punctuated by a pavilion where one might pause for rest or reflection. Seasonal plantings along the path reinforce a sense of rhythm and change throughout the year. Peripheral trails and marked entrances frame the larger park experience, guiding exploration and connection. The Brooklyn Botanic Garden overlook illustrates the idea of a trail that splits the hillside with the land rising and falling around you. The Water Conservation Garden at Red Butte shows how a pavilion might rest atop a cliff and offer views. The plan uses soft organic forms to guide movement and help shape the experience of the park. Planting around the pavilion is layered and seasonal, creating color and texture throughout the year. Thresholds mark transitions from trails to pavilion, framing views to the lake as borrowed scenery. The pavilion itself acts as a gateway. It leads from the trail into a courtyard garden, framed by the hillside on one side and lake views on the other. The pavilion is an assemblage of three steel post and beam shade structures that express a simple, traditional architecture. The second scheme is called the hidden overlook. A circular covered walk crowns the hill, partially hidden by bermed land, revealing itself only as visitors ascend. Trails wind up from key entry points, drawing attention to views, topography, and seasonal planting along the way. The experience is one of discovery, gradually unveiling the overlook and the lake, creating moments of surprise and intimacy with the landscape. A scattering of plants and trees follows the curves of the space, reinforcing natural geometry and seasonal variation. The memorial at UVA showcases the idea of being enveloped in space. The rotating waterdrop park in China is an example of how a shaded circular walkway can offer various programs underneath. The plan relies on organic forms to guide movement and shape the experience of ascent. The pavilion is encircled by layered seasonal plantings that bring shifting textures and colors throughout the year. Transition between trail and overlook create moments of compression and release, using the lake as borrowed scenery to enhance this sense of discovery. Built on the idea of a perfect imperfect circle, a bold roof defies gravity. Visible from the streets bordering the sites, the roof structure, with its warm wood soffit, cradles a central garden, inviting a moment of pause. Thoughtfully sited to edit out the surrounding city, the pavilion captures serene views of the lake. Now that you've seen both design schemes, we'd love to hear your thoughts. The survey linked here will be open until 17th October. Your input will help us move towards a final master plan to share later this year. Thank you.